Greetings, royal family. Welcome back to the channel. So we have a new addition to the review lineup. Greenleaf, the final season, aired yesterday. If you're watching this on June 24th, Wednesday. So episode 1 of the final season 5. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. This was good. This was good. So hopefully you guys seen the episode. If not, and if you don't have OWN, that's why I'm here, to basically recap and review this season opener. All right, make sure you guys are dropping your comments throughout the broadcast so that we can have a good, robust dialogue. Okay? All right, so let's just get straight into it. So the episode opens with Grace and her dad, quote unquote dad, not her biological father. If you've been watching the show, then you know. Anyway, Grace and Bishop. So they're in the church. And Bishop is just reminiscing, looking at the church, everything that he built is almost gone. It's gone. It's gone, ready to be demolished. So they're in the church. They're holding hands. They make their way outside the church. Now, Harmony and Hope is the name of the church, formerly known as Calvary. So Bishop and Grace, they're outside the church and they're watching the items be moved out because the church is going to be demolished and rebuilt. This is what Bob Whitmore wants. So Bishop is just talking and just saying how that hurts. They're hauling across in the back of a truck and he's just standing there. He's taking it pretty well though, to see everything that he built, regardless of how he got it, being taken over by this Bob Whitmore and these Harmony and Hope leeches. Anywho, let's move on to the lady. Lady Mae, that is. Okay, first of all, Lynn Whitfield is a stellar actress, and I know I am not the only one that feels this way. So she is fasting, right? So, because she wants to know what to do. Bishop is still not talking to her at this point. She's all in shambles. Charity ends up walking into the kitchen, and Lady Mae calls her Benedict Arnold, traitor to her whole family. I love this Lady Mae. So Lady Mae may be weak, from not eating because, again, she's fasting. But her shade is still as strong as ever, okay? So we move on to see Jacob and his wife, Chlamydia. That's what I like to call her. She is really something else, ain't she? She shows Jacob this will. She basically accused Bishop and Lady Mae of stealing, their house. The house that she is also living in for free, might I add. She also alleges that they had the previous owner of the house killed and stole it from the previous owner. Now, Jacob is asking her, where did you get this will from? And she refuses to tell him, so he puts 2 and 2 together. And Jacob, listen, being that Jacob is Lady Mae's boy, he says to her, so your Latin lover is passing out wills and chlamydia? I love it. Sharp. I love it. So Chlamydia, she wants to be well taken care of in their divorce because Jacob is ready to get rid of her. He's ready to be divorced from her. So she's basically bribing him, letting him know, if you don't take care of me in this divorce, I'm going to leak this information. How's she bribing Jacob with something that may not even be authentic or accurate? Because I saw the previews for the upcoming season and somebody shouted, there's another will. So what's going on here? Carissa, you should have did your homework. At least fact check. Jacob doesn't even care at this point. He tells her, look, get your lawyers, make your proposal. There's no need for me to get my lawyers. It ain't no fight. So Chlamydia, she's sitting there sad because I guess she thought that Jacob was going to be fighting for her. And, she really has some nerve making demands. Right? Ma'am, I demand that you take your antibiotics and hush. Again, she thought Jacob was going to fight to be with her. But just like most of us viewers, I can speak for myself, he is tired of her. And he is ready to be out. Moving along. Bye, Chlamydia. So we see Sophia. She's jogging and working out. She looks great. Seems to be recovering from her surgery that she had last season. And she's making plans with that guy that used to date Zora's friend Nikki. He calls her in the middle of her workout. And is Zora getting on anyone else's nerves? No? Is it just me? Just like her mama. with that nasty woman's disease. Anyway, moving along. Oh boy. So Aaron, he stops by. Aaron is Grace's half brother, we found out last season. So he stops by. He's also a lawyer. And Aaron, Grace, and AJ are talking. So basically, this AJ, quote unquote AJ, is off the hook. So they apparently caught the guy who robbed the pharmacy, right? This is what Aaron is saying. And it's like, you caught the guy who robbed the pharmacy? So Aaron shows a picture of the guy, right, that they claimed robbed this pharmacy, and he ended up getting shot that night close by in the area where the Greenleafs live. And it's the guy that visited Grace on the last episode from the last season. Now, let me tell you something. Something moved in my spirit immediately, and I said, just like I said in my previous review, or I suspected, that guy who showed up to Grace when she was in front of her sister's grave, Faith, that's her real son. And I know a lot of you have speculated the same thing, right? I said, that was really her son. Something just moved in me, you know? Grace and AJ, this fake AJ, had a look of disbelief on their faces, especially fake AJ, because he knows that he was the one that did it. He said that he did it. So I wonder, like, did AJ kill that dude? Was AJ the one that shot? Fake AJ shot real AJ? Did fake AJ steal the real AJ's identity? For some reason, I also think that Bob Whitmore is behind fake AJ showing up and finding Grace. Remember last season when he kept saying that he had business out in Arizona, and he mentioned to Grace that he was like following her career when she was in Arizona as well, before she came back when Faith first died? This is juicy. AJ's face says it all. Like I seen in that scene, I seen the guilt all over his face. He just looked weird, right? Anyway, moving along, Grace, she goes to see Rick Fox, and she needs his help. And even though, you know, he had a hard time with her breakup, or with their breakup, it's obvious that he still loves her, right? And Grace wants him to find out who this boy is, this boy that came to see her in the garden on the Greenleaf compound. You know, he like do a background check. I think he said his father works for the DA office or something like that, so he can run a check on him to find out who he was. Now, Jacob, we see he's outside on the porch, and he asks Aaron about this will, you know. And even though Mac is dead, let me tell you something. I smell that Mac has something to do with all of this. He was such a shady slime ball, among other things. And Grace did all the people and all his victims a service. Good job, Grace. She, quote unquote, accidentally killed Mac in self-defense. Accident or not. I know it's going to come out. I know it's going to come out that Mac has a lot to. He was so shady. Like everything. And it's a shame that he's dead. And you can't even pop him in his nose. But anyway. So Jacob is standing on the porch, right? And he tells Siri in his phone, hey, Siri, call Joyce Myers. And I'm saying to myself, oh, wow. You know, they had Yanla on the show. I wonder if he's going to like be talking on the phone with Joyce Meyer. He's trying to seek some counsel from Sister Joyce. That's good. Honey, it goes to voicemail, and it's actually Alexis that he called. And he left her a voicemail. Alexis is the woman that he was having an affair with in the beginning of the show, season 1, episode 1. So he still has his side piece's phone number in his phone disguised as Joyce Myers. Oh, I can't take it. I cannot take it. Now that was funny. So we move on to Charity, and oh boy, what's his name? Phil. You know, I'm really sick of them. I've been sick of Charity since season 1. So they're getting ready to walk into a meeting to let the church board know, you know, that the church is going to be under construction. So they're going to be moving to a smaller space. They're going to be having service in a gym. You know, you can tell the people in the meeting, they're not really excited about that. And Charity, as usual, she's doing too much, and she's announcing that she's going to be preaching a series about the forgotten black women in the church. Oh, Lord, this child is a mess. Lady May said, it's Benedict Arnold, traitor to her whole family. Oh, I love the shade. You know, Charity, she really thinks that she is doing something. Like, she's so gimmicky and desperate. She's just so desperate to be a preacher, you know, and she's just not cut out for it. I remember when Bishop tried to tell her that, her mother tried to tell her that. That's not your ministry, sis. Your ministry is in music. But she wants to be a preacher. Oh, God, so bad. Anyway, shifting gears. Jacob finally catches up to Alexis. He goes and visits her. He basically wants information specifically about like Mac and anything pertaining to the house because he wants to get to the bottom of this will situation. So Alexis, she's still upset because when their affair was revealed, she was banned from both churches. While Jacob was there, you know, he was looking at her daughter because she does have kids. So he was looking at her daughter and he did ask her if, hey, is that my kid? You know, kind of hinting. And she tells him that if she was pregnant by him, she wouldn't keep it. Ouch. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if it's Jacob, if it comes out that that is Jacob's child later. You know, I wouldn't be shocked at all. But she said, you know, she said it's not. So before he leaves, he does let her know, you know, he didn't want things to end the way that they did between the two of them. He did apologize. And she ends up telling him about a storage unit that Mac had. She said she knows where it's located. She doesn't have the keys or anything like that. And she also said that she's afraid to even find out what's in there because Alexis was also Mac's assistant. So a lot of people have come down hard on Alexis. Like, she just basically got ran out of town because what Mac was doing, they thought that, you know, she had something to do with that as well. And then it came out that Jacob was having an affair with her. It was a mess. Now, I can't wait to find out what is in that storage unit because I think it's going to blow all of our socks off. Anyway, back to Grace and the fake AJ. Now, she really is trying, right? She's really poor Gracie. But I will say this, ever since that AJ boy has come into our lives, y'all, he has been working my last nerve. I don't know how you guys feel, but he has been working my last nerve. You know, she approaches him and she's just like, I don't know why you're not happy. You know, you're not going back to jail. So she's confused that AJ isn't happy about the charges being dropped. Now, AJ admits to doing it and says that this doesn't make sense. And he feels guilty because, you know, that possibly the real AJ lost his life. He said someone lost their life, you know, and he paid the price for it. I did it. Grace is like, it's a miracle. You know, I guess she's in denial. I think she knows. Her face said it all when Aaron showed her the picture of the gentleman that visited her on the Greenleaf compound or whatever. Now, as far as AJ's concerned, the reason why he can't be, you know, happy about this moment is because guilt. You know what I'm saying? That guilt is eating him up. He couldn't even look himself in the mirror. So Grace is just trying to cheer him up. And even her, you notice in her acting, it's just, her character is just trying to give herself a false sense of hope because I think she knows, but she's just trying to make the best out of a bad situation, I guess. I don't know. All right, well, we move on from that to Bishop. He has a meeting with the church hens, as I like to call them. And now all of a sudden, you know, they want to take the church back, you know, but they were all for Bob Whitmore taking over the church, you know. So Bishop, he has a plan, and they're not interested in having, you know, church in a gym while waiting for the new church, Harmony and Hope, to be renovated. And I'm like, oh, so now they're all on Bishop's side, you know, when they were the ones that were so quick to sell him and Lady May up the river. The nerve. Shifting gears, Sophia, we see her show up to that boy's house. She discovers that his ex is there. Sophia basically said, yes, you know, I am hurt, but I'm not mad. Then she tells him goodbye. Good for you, girl. You know, no scene needed. You just moved on. Anyway, back to Lady May and Bishop. Now, even though he was still mad at her because he wasn't talking to her because Lady Mae decided to work with Bob. He sits down to speak with his bride. I just love them together. Gosh, their chemistry as actor and actress is so good. So he fills her in on the meeting that he had with the church hens. That's what I call them. And he presents to her his new plan. He wants to build a brand new church with her. And he tells her, look, you know, when you had that Women's Day event, I never seen something so powerful. And I want to build that with you. And he tells her that it's not about them anymore, meaning himself and Lady Mae. He said, this was such a powerful line in the show. He says it's about delivering the people's souls to their Redeemer in their totality. You better preach that thing, Bishop. Yes. Woo. Now, I do want to point out, right, that when Bishop presents this to Lady Mae, she's all with it, right? She didn't fight him because she's been combative, you know, the last season. She wanted to do it. She felt like she needed to take over the church. She was very upset with Bishop for a lot of things. They owed taxes. The church was slipping through their fingers. But I guess she is in a point of where she's surrendering. You know, she's been fasting, asking God to tell her what to do. And here it is, Bishop now breaking the silence. You know, he's talking to her now, and he presents this idea. So I guess she looks at it as, you know, my fasting wasn't in vain. This is the answer. So he tells her the first thing that they need to do is go down to the city hall and get remarried, because you know that they were planning a big wedding to get remarried, so on and so forth, and everything just started happening and that fell through. So he wants to get married, but I do think he didn't reveal what his plan was per se, like in detail. Yes, he wants to start a new church, but I do think that it is important, an important part of his plan for him and Lady Mae to be legally married. Can't wait to find out. Back to Charity and Phil. So she shows up to his place to return his ring and to also tell him how she feels, as if she hasn't done so already. He tells her that he has to marry Judy, which is Bob's daughter, because Bob is making him do it. He wants to keep his job. He says that he's still in love with Charity. So he chooses Judy and his job over Charity. She walks out. Now back to Grace and Rick Fox. So he finds out that Bob Whitmore is trying to run for Senate, and he made large donations to a lot of the churches, you know, getting in the church's back pockets, you know, in the area. And he also purchased property. He purchased a house that has not been occupied. So property owner, he's building churches in the neighborhood. He's trying to merge a black and a white church, which is, Grace points out, is good, you know, if he's running for Senate, because everyone loves religious harmony, right? So Rick Fox, he thinks that he can prevent the church from being demolished, because they plan on tearing down the church, the physical church, within a week, Hope and Harmony, that is, and rebuilding it to be the mega church that they want it to be. So Rick Fox is like, maybe they can put the kibosh on that by exposing Bob's plan. Like if he can prove that Bob did this for his own gain, to win a seat in the Senate, that they can prevent this from happening. And Grace is just like, dang, I can't believe I stepped down from my position. You know, AJ done got off, because that's why she left the position as pastor. She quit because she was bribed by Phil. You know, that damn Charity was feeding information to him, and he dissed you. Oh God, Benedict Arnold. Anyway, so Grace, she stepped down as pastor because she wanted to save her son, you know. Anyway, everyone gets text notification that Bishop and Lady Mae are getting married, so they have to meet up at the house because everybody's going to be going down to the city hall. Okay, so everyone is just like, wait, is this real? What's happening here? So everyone is planning to meet up at the house. Zora, she's taking pics of Bishop and Lady Mae as they're, you know, walking down the stairs, leaving out the house. And Bishop tells Zora, look, be sure to post these pics to Instacart. I want everybody to know this. Zora corrects him. Now that was hilarious, because he was so certain that it was Instacart and not Instagram. And Zora corrects him. She said, it's Instagram, Grandpa. He said, you know what I mean? That was so funny. Classic. So Zora, let me tell you something about that Zora. She got one more time to call Sophia a whore before I go in on her. She miserable just like her mama. Ugh. Anyway. Carissa has an attitude because, Jacob isn't sweating her. Charity, she shows up asking, you want me to come? Even though she was invited. Bishop was like, Charity, just get in the car, girl. After she done betrayed her family. Bishop ain't holding no grudges. Like, we all family. I want all of y'all there. Again, I think all of this is a part of Bishop's plan. And I think he loves his family too, even though they all get on his nerve. So they're all gathering to leave, for this big event to go down to City Hall, and everybody's happy. And Grace, she goes inside to get AJ, and she notices that, where's AJ? So she said, let me go inside and get him. And she notices that the bathroom door in his room is locked. So she's banging on the door. She breaks in the door, and baby, AJ is laid out on the bathroom floor, unconscious, and his wrist is slit. And there's blood everywhere. And of course, Grace is screaming and yelling. She is frantic. And she kept yelling, why did you do this? Why did you do this? So it's like, wow. Her sister killed herself. And her son did the same. Now, at first, I said, well, is AJ really dead? But then in the previews, you see Grace saying, I lost a child. But now it's dawning on me that what if she finds out that the guy who visited her, this guy, was really her son? Because remember, he was shot and killed. So maybe she's saying, I lost a son, referring to him. Or is she referring to AJ, the fake AJ? I call this one the real AJ. Every time I see his picture, it creeps me out because it's just like, who is he? The episode ended with Grace in the bathroom, honey, screaming, why did you do this? This was a great seasoning opener. And even though cliffhangers can be very annoying, if you are a good writer, producer, director, it makes it even more intense, and you anticipate. That's the objective, right? To anticipate the next episode. But this was one hell of a cliffhanger. This was only episode 1 of season 5, the final season of Greenleaf. And I look forward to this being a good one. I mean, all of the episodes are good. So I'm in. I'm adding this to the review lineup. I have watched this show since season 1, episode 1. And the first review that I did for this show that I recorded was the final episode of season 4, which is titled Gratitude. Such a moving episode. So what I will do is I will link that review to the end of this video. So be sure to check it out if you haven't already. And for those of you who are new to the channel, don't know what I look like, that's when I used to be on camera. So Royal Family, let me know what you think. Get down in the comments. Like this, I'm just patiently waiting for Queen Sugar to return. I think I've said that before. But this is a great substitute because the writing, the acting has gotten so much better season after season. And if this was episode 1, what is the rest of the season going to be like? Can't wait to read your comments. Thank you for joining me. And this concludes this review of Greenleaf, season 5, episode 1. Be sure to like, respectfully comment, and if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time I upload. So I'll see y'all next week for episode 2. Until next time, peace.